Hey guys, Cody with Princess Craft RV. Come along with me today as we go through the 2020 Aliner Expedition. So let's get started right up front here and let me show you how to hook this thing onto the tow vehicle. It's going to ride on a 2-inch ball. So once you get your tow vehicle backed under it, using your tongue jack to raise and lower the tongue to where it needs to be. Once you get it in place and lowered down, all you got to do is fold this over until it latches. And make sure this piece right here latches onto that, such as so. You should not be able to lift it, and that's going to be a secure latch. To release it, it's just the opposite. Just pull up on this, flip it up, and that's going to be in the release position for the ball. A couple other things that do need to be hooked up to the tow vehicle. It's going to be our safety chains here. You're going to have 2 of them. And these are going to need to crisscross, and then they're going to clip to the receiver hitch. Now in the state of Texas, these are not allowed to contact the ground when you are towing the trailer, so make sure that they are up off the ground. There are products on the market to keep your safety chains where they belong. We've also got your safety breakaway cable here, which also needs to hook up to the receiver hitch on the tow vehicle, and this needs to be on its own clip and not routed through the safety chains or anything like that, because it does have to yank out of this box on the side if you do get separated from the tow vehicle to apply the brakes on the trailer and bring this thing to a stop. And then we've got your standard 7-way plug here, which is going to run all of your running lights, turn signals, brake lights, and electric brakes for the trailer if your tow vehicle is so equipped with a brake control. Standard top wind crank jack here on the front, nothing special about it, up and down. Once you get it loaded, you will want to remove the wheel for travel. To do that, all you've got to do is pull this pin out, and that wheel will drop off, and then you can store that wheel wherever you would like in the tow vehicle or somewhere in the trailer, whatever works for you. Right behind that is where your battery is going to be mounted. We'll have your battery box here mounted with a deep cycle lead acid battery. All your cables here will be hooked up accordingly to where they belong. So good idea if you ever need to change out a battery is to either take a picture or tape these together or mark them somehow so you remember what goes where, because there are quite a few cables here. There's also going to be an inline fuse that goes in place here that provides 12-volt power on the positive lead to the trailer. So remember that's there if you're having some power issues from the battery. Moving back from there, we're going to have your dual 20-pound propane cylinders. Typical 20-pounders, they can be exchanged or refilled, whatever works for you or whatever is available to you at the time that you need to have one filled up. They comes equipped with an auto changeover regulator. Basically what that means is if you have both cylinders on, it will automatically drain your primary cylinder and then drain the other one. And you're not going to know it because it just automatically happens. Now, if you run one cylinder on, one cylinder off, you'll know when that one cylinder's out, and then you'll just use your changeover lever here and choose the other cylinder and go get the other one refilled or exchanged, and you'll be ready to go. To remove these, just take off the wing nut here, move the T-bar out of the way, take your service hose off, tip that cylinder out, go get it refilled or exchanged. Just remember, anytime you are transporting a propane cylinder, it needs to be in the upright position. Propane cylinders will be covered with a canvas bag. Just pulls down over it, elastic at the bottom to keep it in place. And then it has a zipper access on it here to allow you to access the service valves on the cylinders to turn them on and off or change your regulator over as needed. Got you a service light up here at the front with a switch on the bottom so you can do things at night. Moving right around here, we've got a stabilizer jack. You're going to have 4 of these on this trailer, 1 in each corner. It's going to be your crank handle. Goes right on there. And these are just going to crank up and down as such. And once you get the trailer level front to back and side to side, these are just going to be run to the ground and slight pressure is going to be applied to them. Remember, these are just stabilizers. They're not for lifting or leveling your trailer. Moving back around from there, on the off-door side of the trailer here, we've got a solar plug. So this is going to allow you to plug in a portable solar panel to this trailer, and then it will take the sun's energy and help keep the 12-volt battery charged up. Really good option if you like to dry camp. Above that, we're going to have your outside shower, hot and cold mixing valves, standard shower stuff, pretty cool, pretty easy to use, great for at the beach, showering off sand and stuff like that. Right behind that, we're going to have your refrigerator accesses. Not a whole lot in here for you as a consumer, but just a couple things to point out. This is going to be your control board here. There are some fuses that can be in there that could go bad. There's a fuse here that could be checked. Checking your burner tube, your burner chamber here is a good idea for debris or bugs or anything like that, especially after it's probably been in storage. You might be having an ignition problem on the gas side. Insects can cause problems, and then things don't work right. There's also a manual shutoff valve in here for the gas line. It's going to be this little knob right here. It's got a little groove in it. When this is facing in line with the gas line, it's open. When it is turned and it is facing up and down to the gas line, that's going to be shut off. So if for some reason this thing is electronically being held open and allowing gas just to leak, you can turn that and shut that off, or just close your propane off. Either way. But that's about it. But if you do get in here, putting these things back on is pretty simple, but there is one step you don't want to miss. Once you get these all the way back on, make sure you do lock these. Again, they need to be facing this way to be in the lock position on both of them. If you do not lock them on, chances are it will be gone when you reach your destination. Just below our refrigerator is going to be our drain outlet. All you've got to do is take this cap off here. You're going to need an adapter to go from this 1.5 inch to a 3/4 inch water hose fitting. And then it just adapts down to a drain hose or a water hose, if you will, to drain off to the dump, either into a tote tank or into a dump is going to be what the parks are going to require. Furnace exhaust right here. It's going to get hot anytime you're using your furnace. So watch little hands or covering it with anything that shouldn't be there. It could melt or anything like that. Moving back around to our wheels and tires. You'll want to follow the manufacturer's recommendation for tire pressure, which you'll find the sticker for that just above the refrigerator vents here. So on this trailer, our recommended tire pressure is going to be 60 PSI, and you'll see the recommended tire size here for this trailer as well. Lug nuts need to be torqued. Per manufacturer's recommendations, we usually torque to 100 foot-pounds here on every trailer pretty much. But then they need to be checked at least before every trip. So don't forget that. It's a good thing to check. It's simple, it's easy, and it can save you a heartache if you know, a wheel comes off. So moving back from there, we're going to have your exterior cable port. This is going to be for hooking up to exterior TV antenna, cable jack at a park, anything like that. And then there will be corresponding hookups on the inside, and I can show you where those are. Just below that's going to be our 30 amp 110 service cord. Pretty easy to hook up here. We're going to have 3 prongs. One's kind of an L shape. Inside the trailer side housing, we're going to have the same. All we've got to do is hook up those two, line up the 2 L prongs, give it a little twist to the right, and then snug it up with a lock ring. It's going to give us a good tight connection, which you're going to want. Make sure we don't get any heat buildup in the cord. Moving behind that, we've got your 6-gallon water heater. In here, again, a good idea to check for bugs or debris or anything. Starting here all the way into the burn chamber can affect the functionality of your water heater. And then we've got your drain valve, or drain plug, excuse me, down here at the bottom. It's also going to be an anode rod, so that will need to be checked and replaced as needed. It's a good idea to drain this out if the trailer is going to be put up for probably more than a week. That way you don't get any stagnant water, and you're also not wasting the life of your anode while it just sits there not doing anything. Other than that, we've got your pop-off valve in here. safety device. It's also a good way to check and see if you have water in the water heater. You don't want to fire a water heater without water in it, so always make sure you've got water in the water heater before you turn it on. Now to open and close this thing, it's just going to be this little D-loop, D-spring right here. It's going to fit through this slot. To close it, all you got to do is get that all lined up, give it a little pull and twist, and that's it. Just behind that, we've got both of your freshwater connections, if you will. First one here is going to be your city water tank or your city water fill, where you can put fresh water in a freshwater tank, fill it up, carry it with you on board, use the water pump to get it out. Great option for dry camping or while traveling if you're going to be making some roadside stops and you need access to water. Once you fill it up, it's just going to backwash out at you, and that'll tell you it's full. And then we've got our freshwater connection. This is going to be where we actually hook up a water hose with a pressure regulator. It's going to hook right up to that, and then the water coming in on the water hose will provide the pressure to your trailer. It is always recommended to use a water pressure regulator, so protects your trailer, protects your investment. Moving underneath here, below all this good stuff, we're going to find a couple of drains. We're going to have one here, and then we're going to have one right there. This one's going to be for draining your freshwater tank, and the other one is going to be for draining the freshwater line. Just a couple things to point out. We're going to have your license plate mounted over here on the rear left. It's got a light on it to keep you all state legal and everything. Then we've got your spare tire back here. If you've got a flat, remember when you jack up at a trailer, you want to jack it up on the frame if possible. If you have to go to the axle, go as far to the outside as you can so you don't end up bending anything. You don't want to be in the middle of an axle housing. Just take off the lug nuts here. This guy's going to come off and replace it whichever tire's flat. Remember to re-torque after you put the flat on, and remember to always check your tire pressure as you check the others. Moving on around here, you're going to have your Cool Cat vent here. So this unit is equipped with the Cool Cat, Dometic Cool Cat air conditioner. So again, this is going to be the vent. It is normal to see water drip out of here. It's going to have hot air blowing out of it as you're using it during the summer, and then cool air as you're using it during the winter. If it's got a heat pump option, scratch that, done. Cool Cat air conditioner vent. This bar right here above it is going to be for an optional outdoor kitchen or cooktop, if you will. It's going to hang right there on the wall, and then it would actually hook up right here to this gas port. So this is a quick connect gas port. So it would come with a quick connect line that would hook from here to the cooktop, and then all you would have to do is turn this valve on right here, and that's going to allow the gas to flow to that optional cooktop that can hang right here on the side of the trailer. A couple of exterior 110 outlets for you there, so you can, you know, outside camp, put a coffee pot out here on the table, hang out, have a good time. We were talking about lug nuts and everything. So per Aliner, they're recommending the first 10, 25, 50 miles to tighten to manufacturer's specifications. Again, we said 100 foot-pounds on the torque spec. And that'll get you all fixed up, and then again before every trip. We've got another porch light here for you so that you can be using. Switch on the bottom of it. And last couple things for the exterior right now, gonna be our steps. To put these away, you're gonna grab the bottom step, fold it over the top step, and then grab the top step here and just pick up and push in all the way in, and that's just gonna be how it stores for travel. To deploy it for use, just grab underneath the step, pull straight out. It's going to come out, and then just flip your step down, and you're ready to go. As far as our entry door goes, it does have a door holdback here. So it's just T-style. It's going to fit right into this receiver here, just like so. And that's going to hold your door open. The only thing I caution on this, because I see it a lot, is people forget that that's done, and that is plastic. They grab the door, they give it a good tug, and then that thing's broken. So just remember, whenever you have your door secured open with the door holdback, don't forget about it. Don't yank on your door, because you will break that. All right, I think that covers everything on the outside of our Expedition, so let's go check out the inside. Coming inside of our Aliner Expedition here, just a couple things just inside the door. On your right, you're gonna find your entry light switch. It's just gonna control your light right there at the floor to brighten your path as you come in. Right on the other side, we're gonna find your fire extinguisher. To get this thing, you just yank this strap up and it's going to pop right out. That's going to be your loop there that you yank to deploy the chemical inside of it. And then this little green button right here on top of it, you're going to want to use that to check the pressure in the fire extinguisher, make sure it's still good for use. Check that periodically, replace it if it needs to be replaced. So moving up inside more here, we've got your Dometic 2-burner cooktop. Really easy to use. All you've got to do is turn this to light, and then you're just going to push your striker here. Once it gets lit, do your cooking. Let it cool down before you close the lid on it. This is glass. We don't want it to shatter. To close it, you do have to lift up on it slightly. It does kind of lock into place back here, so lift up on it, and then it'll allow you to tip it down forward. Next to that, we're going to find your sink and faucet here. So again, this head here is rotatable. It does have to be stowed in the down position when you go to close, as well as for travel and all that good stuff. For water flow control, you're just gonna, the lever is just gonna rock in and out away from the faucet itself like this. And then for temperature control, it's gonna be back towards the wall and then towards you. So towards you is gonna be cold and away is gonna be hot. And again, make sure you push that down and close the lid anytime you get ready to travel or lower your walls or anything like that. Moving just underneath your cooktop and sink, we're going to find your microwave here. Just a standard turntable style microwave. Nothing really special about it. Punch in your time and go. Under that, we do have a storage cabinet. Another larger storage cabinet over here. And then we've got a couple of switches here. We're going to find a water pump and a water heater switch with an auxiliary light. This one that says refrig vent, this is not in use on this unit. So this is going to be our 12-volt water pump to extract water from the fresh water tank. Again, like I said, if you want to use store water on board that you can use on the side of the road or while dry camping, you'll use the water pump. All you have to do is flip it on and you'll have access to water. The water heater, this is going to be for lighting the water heater. It's all auto ignition. All you have to do is flip the switch on. Auxiliary light's going to come on for 10 to 15 seconds, and then that's going to go into ignition, and then the light's going to turn off. As long as the light stays off, everything's good, everything's going, and you'll have hot water in about 20 minutes. If the light does come back on, it's typically due to a propane issue. Either you're out or you forgot to turn it on, or there's air in the system that needs to be bled out. Flip the switch off, flip it back on, let it go through a few cycles to try to purge any air that may be in the system. Next to that, we're going to have a GFI outlet with a test reset button on it. This is going to control multiple outlets in the trailer. So if you're having some issues with another outlet not working, make sure you check your GFCI, make sure it's not tripped. Some good cabinet space here at the front, storage space. And that's going to bring us around to our Dometic refrigerator. This is going to be a 3-way refrigerator. It's going to have a DC, AC, and gas option. So we've got 4 buttons up here, so let me go through how these operate. First one is just going to be our on-off button. So as you can see, when it boots up, everything's going to turn on. Right now it's saying that we're in the auto mode. So if you want to force this thing to gas, all you have to do is push that. It's going to automatically switch to gas. Now if you're in the auto mode, you can see here it's selected AC mode. If you want to force it to the DC mode, you're just going to push that. It's going to take it out of auto and it's going to go to DC. Now DC mode is not a recommended mode by us here at Princess Craft. We usually end up with phone calls about dead batteries when customers are trying to run DC mode. DC mode is a maintainer of a already set temperature in the refrigerator. It's not going to help cool it off, and it's only good for a handful of hours, and then it really starts to drain your batteries down. So we don't recommend it. It's recommended either the AC or the gas mode for operation. And then our other button over here is going to be for our temperature set 1 through 5. You're just going to push it and choose your LEDs there for however cold you want your stuff. Check light here is going to be for a failure. Basically, hey, this thing didn't power up for some reason. So you would just need to figure out what that might be. And then inside we've got your freezer up top, refrigerator down below. It is normal to see some condensation in the back drip tray there. That's why it's there. Remember, these things take anywhere from 12 to 24 hours to cool down completely. Try not to stockpile them full of warm stuff. If whatever you put in there is already cold, it'll help the efficiency of it. All right, lighting in this side of the dormer area back here is going to be just a overhead light with a switch on it. And that'll bring us around to our dinette here. So underneath this side of the dinette, you're going to find access to your furnace. Do not store anything in this compartment. We don't want to affect any airflow to your furnace. We don't want to affect any kind of operation or anything like that. So we really recommend you don't store anything in there with it. It's more just for easy access for maintenance if need be. The other side here, you can perfectly store stuff under. You can either use the access door or you can lift the lid, whatever works best for you. There's some plumbing lines and electrical running through there as well. And this also makes down into an extra little bed. So remove your tabletop and just give it a little twirl and pull it off. And then for the bottom, you do have to unscrew this. Bottom piece there, so that just threads down, and that's basically what kind of pulls all this together. Then we're just going to take our tabletop and it's going to lay on these two flat pieces right here on the side, like that. And then we just have to put our cushions back on. And you've got your little extra bed there for somebody to sleep on. Putting it back into tabletop position is just going to be the opposite. So that you've got to line up these 3 ears with the receivers there on the floor. Just give it a little twist and you should feel it kind of lock in there. And then you'll just snug this ring down. Don't over tighten this, it just needs to be snug. And that's going to hold your pole in place. You can put your tabletop back on and then put your cushions back in place. All right, let's talk about our windows and our coverings in this trailer real quick. So all of your windows are going to open and close the same. Just going to be a little lever here on the window. So it's kind of hard to see, but it just rocks up it back and forth here. When it's unlocked, basically the top's going to be pushed in. That's going to allow you to slide the window open and then get you some fresh air there. To close it, just make sure it's all the way closed and make sure you get that latched into place. Now these window coverings just Velcro up here. So you just un-Velcro these. Then unsnap it from the wall. You're going to snap it into this closer one. And then also here. And then you'll undo the other one, unroll it. And you'll have to unsnap. So this is the storage snap and this is the use snap, if you will. And then these are going to Velcro together in the middle. And that'll be your window covering there for you. While we're talking about windows, we've got a roof vent up here overhead. So this, if you've got all your windows open and you turn this fan on, it's going to really make a nice breeze in here. So to open it, you've got a lock knob here. So anytime you're in travel, make sure that is locked. It's not going to go all the way around. Just make sure it's as far as it'll go. To unlock it, just push it as far as it'll go in the unlock direction. Raise your lid. And then we've got your speed setting. 0 through 3, 0's off, so you can just have it open, or you can choose your speed there. And then the other switch here is going to actually be fan direction, whether you want to pull air out of the trailer or into the trailer, so you just choose whichever way you want it to go, up to you. And then this last little black piece on here, this is actually going to be a fuse. So if for some reason this thing's not operating, check the fuse. Another good thing is that we see on these is they have what's called a lid switch. So there's a little push pin switch at the lid that gets stuck sometimes, so it won't think the lid's open and won't allow the fan to come on. It's a safety feature for the product so it doesn't burn up. It's a good thing to check. Sometimes you can just kind of pop the lid up and down, it'll free the pin and everything will work. On the other side of the roof, we've got your smoke alarm, 9-volt smoke alarm. It's got a 9-volt battery in it. It's got a test button on it. It's just like basic any smoke alarm. Just do what you need to do. Check it periodically. Replace the battery as needed. Moving back into our couch area. A couple things back here. Down low, we're going to have your Dometic thermostat. That's going to be for controlling your cool cap. So let me show you how to cycle through the features on this. This is going to be for our fan speed selection or temperature selection, and then this here is mode selection. So to cycle through, these are touch. You don't have to really push them, you just touch them. You can see here that we're going to cycle through. This is off, so everything is off. First setting is going to be fan, so here you can cycle through low, high, or auto. We always recommend auto mode for fan settings so we don't end up with any kind of freezing issues or anything like that. And then the next setting is going to be cool, and it shows here fan is auto, and then you can set your desired room temperature, and this thing's going to kick on and start cooling down everything in here. And then we have furnace. So this is going to turn on your gas furnace in here, which is underneath the bench over there, and that's going to really get everything going, and it's going to get nice and toasty in here. Things going to warm you up well. And then again, back to off. So the exterior cable port that we talked about outside, the inside part of it is right here. So it's going to be this port right here. And then we also have a 12-volt accessory outlet there. So if you buy like a 12-volt TV, it'll hook up perfectly right there, and everything will work up for you. You'll just have to set up an antenna outside or have park cable there for you. Below that, we're going to have your LPCO alarm. It's got a test button on it. Check it periodically. If that thing ever goes off, typically means you've got a leak or low battery or something along those lines. Read everything on there and just keep up with it. And then we've got your power distribution panel here. Inside you're going to find your 110 fuses, your 110 breakers and your 12-volt fuses. Fuses on this side, breakers on this side. You can buy these fuses anywhere. They are just standard blade style fuses that all cars used to use. They're just bigger than what cars use now. And these are going to be standard 110 breakers. And pretty much it. If you're having some power issues, check it out. Make sure your fuses aren't blown. Make sure none of your breakers are tripped for any reason, anything like that. So that'll move us around to our couch. So this thing is a couch. It's also going to be your primary bed. So this slider here at the bottom is held in place with this strap. Just goes on this hook. So if you're going to pull this into a bed, just undo your strap. And then this piece is going to slide forward. And then all you have to do is drop your cushions in. And that makes into your bed. So to put this up, it's just going to be opposite. Pop your cushions out. Push this slider piece back until it goes all the way back. Put your strap back in place and then reposition your cushions here. Except that's not right. What am I missing here, Clint? I thought that they went like this, but maybe that's it right there. Just put your cushions back in place there, and you've got your seat back. We do have another light on this side of the dormer. Again, it's just like the one on that side. It's just a switch. Two black circles here are going to be outputs for your Dometic Cool Cat air conditioner. Do have a storage space right here underneath that's pretty large. Let me pop this back up and show you what's underneath the rest of this under here. So underneath the large panel, you can see that there is your air conditioner over here with the ductwork, and then access to your storage space. And then on the smaller side, you'll find your water heater and your freshwater tank, water pump, all your water fittings, some electrical connections, and bypass valves for winterization. So you'll see that there is a valve, kind of hard to see in the camera here, but it's way down here at the bottom. It's just going to allow you to bypass the water heater and winterize the unit on here without pumping a bunch of antifreeze into the water heater. Now on each side of this you have these little covers pop up. The one that's on door sides you can actually store stuff in. Just pay attention to this little square hole that's down here in the side. So that's going to be an air return for your air conditioner. And that's what that vent is for right there. We have another GFI outlet back here. Again, it's going to operate just the same as the other one. And our last little storage area here. And that pretty much covers the inside of your Aliner Expedition. Last thing we're going to cover is going to be how to close and open all the roof panels. All right guys, so to close this thing down, first things first, you'll see this hinge line that goes all the way around the trailer. Anything that is inside the trailer needs to be below that hinge line in order for these walls to fold down and not be applying some weird pressure to anything. Secondly, make sure all of your lights are turned off so we don't close these down. These lights can get a little warm. We don't want to close them down on anything. I'm going to leave this one on so we can get some good video. And let me show you how to do all these levers. So in your dormers, you've got your little sidewalls here that have to close down. So you're just going to tip those levers up. Then a little piece is going to just fold in like so. And then you're just going to grab this strap right here, give that a pull, and that's going to close that dormer down. We're going to do the same thing for the front side of the trailer. We're going to tip these down and give this a little pull. Okay, so now we've got to do the big main sidewall, so let me show you how to do that. You're going to want to start with your rear levers first so you can make sure you can reach everything. So just go ahead and undo that one, and then undo this one. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other one here, red handle, fire exit wall. This one can come down and you can climb out if you need to. And then we're just going to fold this wall down. And this rubber bumper is going to sit right on that cabinet top, like that. Okay. Now before we do the door side wall, we need to make sure that we unlatch our door right here. I'm just going to rotate that, and that's going to separate our door so this piece can swing freely. Undo your last latch in here. I like to grab right here inside the door frame, and then I like to grab the door here so I can maneuver this, because if it's open like this, it's going to hit the roof panel. So you got to kind of bring it in close, tip this down, lay it down gently, close that up, and now we can close our main door here. So now we can actually do our roof panels and latch up our dormers. So to finish closing our roof, actually I'm going to go ahead and do this dormer first so I don't smash any fingers. So we're just going to pull this down. Latch it, latch it. Okay. Now I can grab this panel. I just didn't want to smash my fingers in there. It's probably a good idea. We can grab this back panel. We're going to give this a good tug like that. and then pull it on down. Now we're going to latch our side latches here. Like that. You're going to have one on the other side as well. You'll do the same thing there. Don't forget to latch your front dormer. And we'll do this last one over here. And that is it. And now this thing is basically road ready, you know, other than all the stabilizers and all that. So the putting it back up for camping is just going to be the reverse. So let me show you how to do that. We're just going to go around and we're going to undo all our latches before we do anything else. All right. Now that we've got all those done, we can raise the roof. Raise the roof. Okay, so just give that a little push there. Most of your work's going to be done from the rear panel here. And all we've got to do is push it up till it locks in. So I got this side in, so now I got to go around and push up on the other side to get it to lock in. Just like that. You should be able to see that nice seam there, and the roof should look nice and level. So now we can go inside and do our sidewall. So open up your door. Again, you're going to want to grab, I like to do it this way. I grab the door and grab just inside the frame, tilt it up. Again, remember to watch this because you can see you will hit if you don't close this in on yourself a little bit. Get it up there. Go ahead and latch that first latch. That takes care of that wall, kind of gets it off your hands for a second. Turn around, do your back wall or your other side wall. Latch it into place. Now you can finish doing your other latches. And now we can raise our dormers up. So let me show you how to get those started from out here. You're going to want to get them started from out here. Give them a push up. Just as high as you can get it. Okay, now that we got those outside panels raised, now we're going to come back in here. All you got to do is take this wall. You're just going to push it out until it stops. And then put your side pieces up here. Remember to latch them in place. Do the same thing with the front dormer. And there you go. All right, guys, so on this Aliner here, it is equipped with the high wind lift assist kit. So let me show you how this thing works. It's pinned in its travel position right now. So if we're going to use it though, all you've got to do is pull that pin out. You can put it in your pocket temporarily or whatever. Then you're just going to slide this out. Now, if you are shorter or having a difficulty time reaching these high panels, you can actually use this to lift the roof assembly to its position. You'll still have to push this one in to latch it, but this will help you get height if you need it. Now, after you get that all done, this will actually swing over and it's going to sit into this brace on this side. Now you're going to take that pin that you put in your pocket, you're going to put it back in over here. Now what this does is it actually ties these two roof panels together. They call it a high wind kit because if it gets into high wind, these panels can actually separate. This is going to help keep it all together. There's a bar on each side, does the exact same thing, but that's what that's for, and that's how it works. I think that covers everything on your Aliner expedition, but if I forgot anything, don't hesitate to give us a call here at Princess Craft and see if we can help you out with anything.